Premier, Mr. Minister, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming along this morning. This event is to announce the formation of a National Security and Defence Review and the committee that has very kindly agreed to look into these issues. The review, which is being launched today, jointly with the Government of Bermuda, is intended to assess the overall security needs of Bermuda, to look at what people and resources are required to carry out the security needs which are identified, and then thirdly to look at how those resources and people should be organised. I am very pleased that we've secured the services of an excellent team under the very much respected chairmanship of Mr. Leo Mills. The other members of the committee will be Mrs. Louise Jackson, Mr. George Jones, Mrs. Cheryl Ann Lister, Mr. Ralph Richardson and Mr. Jonathan Smith, which I think gives an excellent range of experience and knowledge in the areas which the team will be looking at. We've asked that they complete this work by November, in other words, before the throne speech, which will be made then. Can I invite the Premier to say a few words?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Governor. Hello, everyone. This Bermuda Security and Defense Review, I believe, is well on time. I'd like to echo the Governor's comments and reiterate the critical importance and the Bermuda government's desire to conduct a comprehensive review to assets and overall security needs here in Bermuda. From the outset, I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to the members of the review committee who have been charged with taking a strategic look at all of Bermuda's security and defense requirements to ensure that we are and that they are being met and will continue to be met in the near future. As stated, the review will consider the most effective and efficient way to deliver the security and safety services for our island, which organizations should deliver them, and how cooperation between them should best be organized, and then make their recommendations. It is anticipated that once the committee have had the time to conduct the review, a report will be produced and will be tabled to the House. The Minister of Public Safety will speak more to the specifics of the security services aspects. However, I just want to note that an interesting area of this review focuses on the protection of our maritime borders, particularly from an economic standpoint. This is important. In a time where we have seen other countries around the world crossing borders to plunder marine resources and harvesting of a variety of fish and other marine species, in my opinion, this review could not be more timely. The enforcement and protection of our own exclusive economic zone is something that we believe is forward-thinking, and it is something that this government truly welcomes and supports. So at this stage, I will now turn over to the Minister of Public Safety so that he can expand more on the security services component of the review and what impacts it will potentially have. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Premier, members of the Review Committee, and members of the media. The government's support of this review is based on the importance of effective internal security and certainly strong border control to our citizens and to those who visit our island. Bermuda's security and defense agencies include the Bermuda Police Service, the Bermuda Regiment, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service, HM Customs, and the Department of Marine and Ports. Each of these agencies works well and plays an extremely critical and vital role in the public safety of Bermuda. It is this government's hope that this review will identify logical synergies and chart a working framework that eliminates any duplication of effort and recommends the tasks that best suits the strengths and resources of all those agencies involved. As the Premier mentioned, one of the aspects for consideration is the maritime aspect of border control. We believe within the Ministry of Public Safety that there are significant opportunities to strengthen our operations at sea and to increase the interdictive presence in helping us in the fight against guns, gangs, drugs, and violence. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that it's important to note this government's commitment to the elimination of conscription is not in any way affected by the review. The committee will consider Bermuda's security needs post-conscription in keeping with this government's pledge to grow the full-time component of the Bermuda Regiment. In closing, let me thank Mr. Mills and all the members of the committee for the service that they have agreed to give. We know it's going to be time-consuming, and you have very important deliberations, and the government looks forward to receiving the report. Also, in closing, let me send a special thanks to the men and women of all the security agencies that we value their service, and we look forward to working with all of them to better align our resources and mission in our service to the people of Bermuda. And thank you, and Your Excellency, I guess we're open for questions.
Can I first of all invite Mr. Leo Mills to say a few words as well?
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Premier, Minister. The committee looks forward with considerable anticipation and no little trepidation to the task which lies before it, because we recognize that Bermuda's security assets are very important, and that the review which we are about to undertake may certainly have some wide-ranging implications for the way in which they are used and deployed in the future. The committee, having just been appointed, will be looking at setting up its secretariat so that in the fullness of time we will be inviting submissions from members of the public, from interested stakeholders, so that we will have the benefit of their advice when we consider the matters that are within our remit. This is necessarily going to be a fairly wide-ranging exercise, and we are looking forward with considerable anticipation to being able to deliver a report which will be useful to the government in terms of what it needs to do and some of the things that we believe should be focused upon. So we hopefully will be having some further discussions. We will be releasing information as soon as we have got the secretariat set up, so that individuals will know who to contact, where it is, and where any submissions should be sent, or if they wish to appear in person before the committee, how that is to be done. So we look forward to your cooperation, and in the fullness of time, we expect that we may be able to enlist your assistance in helping us to undertake the work that we have agreed to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. And can I add to the Minister's comments my gratitude to you and the members of the committee for taking this on. I hope your reference to trepidation doesn't have to be borne out too much. We have time, though, for some questions on the review, if anyone would like to ask them.
Yes, Minister Dunkley. Is the committee likely to review anything to do with gangs?
That falls under the remit of the Bermuda Police Service on their daily operational procedure and how they're going to keep Bermuda safe again. So I think as the governor and the premier alluded to, that won't fall into this area.
Let's wrap up two questions. Firstly, you talk about making our security operations more efficient and effective, and that's the whole purpose of this review. Does that suggest that they're not as efficient and effective as they should be at the moment?
You must be a lawyer. If you go back and look at my comments, I was very supportive of all the agencies here. I think we all agree that it's healthy at appropriate times to take a look at what you do to see if you can improve. And this is purely the focal point of what we're going to do. And also, I think it's good to have an outside look, and by the formation of the committee with the members on, they bring a great deal of strength to the table, not only in what they've done in their past in Bermuda, but in being able to bring people to submit in front of them and to be able to compile a report that I think the governor and the government of Bermuda will be very interested in reading and carrying through on.
And one other question, sorry. I understand that the Bermuda Regiment is very keen to get involved in carrying out marine patrols, and there was some move for that to go ahead, but this review has put that on the back burner. Is that correct? And if that is correct, is that still going to be the situation until this review is completed, or is that going to be put forward, or what's the status of that?
The maritime aspect of the regiment has been discussed over the past number of months. It was something that the former government took a look at in conjunction with the Bermuda Regiment. It's something that this government will take a look at. Quite frankly, we'd like to hear what the community thinks about it. The ministry will continue to look at the best way to approach that, and we will have ongoing discussions not only with the regiment on it, but the Bermuda Police Service to see how we can most effectively use our resources. But this is an opportune time to get some input from the public on how it would actually fit.
Just to add to that, I think it's a very good question because it highlights, I think, part of the function of this review, which is to look at the joins between the various services, which are always going to be worth looking at as the demands on services change. Who does what when you might have overlapping responsibilities is exactly what the review is well placed to look at.
There seems to be a little bit of absence of a young mind in this committee.
You know, age is just a number to me. You might say that there's a notable absence, but remember, this committee is taking submissions. So anybody in Bermuda is free to come talk to the committee and to discuss what's on their mind. And I think people should take the opportunity. I know one thing about these people is they have open minds and they will listen. And that's the most important part about what we're trying to do here.